Well, good afternoon. A very special home wizard, Cindy Dole here. Every Saturday, we're all about helping you enjoy the spaces you call home. And usually that means how to have a better design, how to hire a contractor, how to have a great veggie garden. But, you know, we have to kind of push the envelope from time to time because that's just how I am. And I love talking about ghosts, and it's on the eve of Halloween. Have you ever thought that maybe your home, either currently or when you were growing up as a kid, might have been haunted or something spooky happened? Well, we have all these great experts with me today to answer your questions. So jot down the number and do call in because it's very fun. And you're going to learn that there's nothing to be afraid of, right? We're just getting smarter. The number is 888-KFWB-980, 888-539-2980. With me still, Barry Conrad, Victoria Gross, Michael Curry, and Dale Kaczmarek. So thank you guys for hanging with us on this very busy day because you guys are busiest on Halloween, right, Michael? I mean, you have done tons of radio shows. You guys have been all doing shows. And Dale, I know you got a tour tonight, so it's just like all of a sudden people want to talk to the ghost guys.
Exactly. And gal.
And gal.
You know what I was going to say, too? A lot of times people think what we do is very exciting. A lot of times it's boring, like what Michael was saying, and I will attest to this, and Dale will attest to this probably. You go there and you'll just sit. And there won't be anything there. Or sometimes when we go in, the ghosts leave because they know that we're there.
It's kind of like doing research in a laboratory. You're just staring at the Petri dish, right?
Last night I was on investigation, and one of the young girls was like, I just want this ghost to talk. And I'm like, it doesn't happen that way. They're not always going to come out and talk to you when you want them to. So not every time when we go out on an investigation are we going to find anything or be able to record anything or have psychics and mediums feel anything or to speak with these spirits. So I would say maybe 9-8 times out of 10, it can be pretty boring.
And what is it about ghosts speaking through electronic devices? I mean, Dale, maybe you could speak to that. I know all you guys could in terms of all of a sudden the power goes out or all of a sudden the TV goes on or the lights are flickering. What is up with that?
Well, a lot of times, I believe that ghosts do actually have an energy, that's some measurable energy. And a lot of the devices we use, like tri-field meters and some of the other magnetometers we use, actually measure the geomagnetic field around us. And these entities or ghosts actually, they kind of create a deflection or deviation in what's normal around us, and that can sometimes cause, lights to flicker, television sets to go off and on, and even batteries in equipment. I've had brand new batteries in camcorders, in devices.
Everyone's shaking their head in here, Dale.
Right, we've all had that happen too.
Completely dead, and 12-hour batteries that are completely charged the night before, that go completely dead and have no explanation for that. And it's just like they need a little jolt of energy themselves to manifest in some way, so they drain whatever is nearby, the batteries, or what's a power source nearby.
But you know what's really interesting, Dale, is I do investigations sometimes where that will happen, and I'll ask the ghost, I'll say, if you'll just let me have this moment on camera or whatever I'm doing, all of a sudden the batteries will come back, the charge will come back, and sometimes they just want to be acknowledged a little bit. It's really interesting when that happens.
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's true.
What are the common denominators? Respect and wanting to be acknowledged. I think we can relate to that.
Yes. And speaking of the camera battery situation, when I was investing in a case about 20 years ago, I had a whole bag of batteries, professional 14.4 volt batteries, and this entity, whatever it was, in this attic that I was in, it took the camera down. My batteries were perfectly fine because I switched out batteries. I had plenty of charged batteries, had AC and the whole 9 yards. But whatever this was, this had the ability to somehow affect the cameras on a molecular level so that the batteries wouldn't work, although the batteries still had charge.
Wow.
So we have to be aware of that, too. Sometimes they don't always just drain the batteries.
And the whole idea of ghosts moving things, the poltergeist factor, that's what really creeps me out. And you were saying you saw a Bible where the pages were ruffling on their own?
I sure did. I was in a place in Iowa called Vazquez House, and we're about 8 people. A very sad, tragic story. There were actually 6 children and 2 adults. They were axe murdered to death in 1912 on June 9th. And this house is still there. Any ghost hunter could go there and investigate it today. And I was there, and there was a group of boys that came out of Sioux City, Iowa, and they thought they would get the ghosts all stirred up. So they brought an axe, and they laid it down by a Bible.
Ooh, bad move.
I have what I have on camera, and Victoria's seen this footage. The Bible suddenly opened, and the pages started turning by themselves. You have to remember, there's no breeze. Not one window was open in the place. Yes, ghosts will frequently move things around.
And I was in a house recently in Redlands, California, and the silverware, the drawers in the kitchen were open and close, open, close, open, close. Silverware jumped out and was literally dancing on the counter, and I captured it on film.
Like Fantasia or something.
Sort of like that, but it was really, really scary.
Let's go to line 2. Let's see, we have Sue calling in, and she can relate to this. What's your alarm clock that goes on and off, huh?
Hi. Yes, I have an alarm clock that goes off almost every night, and it might go off 2 or 3 times, although it's just set for 6 in the morning. And my husband works out of the home. He's home all day long. It never goes off. It doesn't go off till maybe 20 minutes or so after I'm in the room in the evening.
What time does it go off? Is it the same time every time?
No, it's a different time. Every time it's a different time.
Okay.
And then I also have a dog who is going crazy. Every now and then he'll just start barking as if somebody's in the room, going towards something, backing up, and just like, ferocious. And it can take 10 minutes to settle him down.
Wow.
Victoria, you're nodding. Yeah, you can.
Well, yeah, because animals are very sensitive to the spirits, and we had a dog, Buster, because our house.
Wait. You have a dog, Buster, as in Ghostbuster?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's in the spirit world now, but yeah,
okay.
it was good. But about a year and a half ago, because our house is very haunted, we have a lot of poltergeist energy in our house. Anyway, my mother was over. Barry was out on a trip, and my mother was over, and all of a sudden the dog, we're having dinner at the table, and the dog looks up the stairs and just cowards under the dining room table.
Wow.
And so, I had to drag him out, which is, even with food, I couldn't drag him out, which was amazing. So I can understand what this caller is saying, what Sue is saying, because animals are very, very sensitive to spirits. So that's why it's always an indication to me when the animal is, our dog now even, Loka, when she's staring at something, I know that there's something.
They're seeing something.
They're seeing something, definitely.
I think we need to go to their house and do a seance and a blessing to get rid of that poltergeist energy.
What about seances, all you guys? Ted, Dale, do you ever do seances with your ghost investigating?
No, not really. We seem to get plenty of activity without even having to go that far. We have experimented with other, like I said, these other spirit boxes or Frank's boxes that are sometimes called they're communication devices. And we seem to get really good communication without even having to use a seance, letting the spirit talk through those devices or through EVP sessions.
Mm-hmm. And it's for those of us who are thinking that maybe as we listen to all of you talk that there's something that's going on in our home, how do we just start learning more? What should we do? Should we, besides taking a class or hiring someone to come to our home, should we begin the hunting process on our own? Is that dangerous?
I don't think they should do it on their own. I think they should always bring a professional in, read some books.
Yeah.
There are lots of as Dale said, when he first started and I first started, there were only 3 or 4 books around. And now there are thousands of books of what to do if your house is haunted.
There's even the Complete Idiot's Guide, right?
That's correct.
Dale, you're in that, right?
I am too, which I didn't know until recently, but I am. And I met the author, and he's a magician. He works at the Magic Castle, and he is very psychic too. But people should really do their homework. In fact, I always recommend if you're going to bring somebody in to do a paranormal investigation, always ask for references, because there are a lot of people out there today who don't really know what they're doing, and they can stir up problems and make the house even more active and worse off than it was when they got there. So it's very important to ask for references.
It's so easy now to literally just to become a ghost hunter. I mean, you get a website, you're instant ghost hunter, you buy a couple of pieces of equipment, and you're in business.
Mm-hmm. Well, we want to tell everyone how to find your website, Dale, so people can take your class and learn more about it. It's ghostresearch.org with the Ghost Research Society. Dale Kaczmarek, we're going to say goodbye to you and happy Halloween, because I know you've got things to tend to, but we'll talk to you again, because I love
Dale.
what you're saying.
Nice to meet you.
And up
Bye,
next, the conversation continues here as we have a very special edition of A Scary Home Wizards. Call on in with your story, all right? It's 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. Home Wizards, Cindy Dole. We're back right after this.